This morning. I want to welcome you back. For those of you that came yesterday, I apologize. For those of you that are comfortable driving in the snow, sleet, and whatever, we canceled anyway. I apologize if that inconvenienced you, but we felt like it was a better idea to not put people on the road that morning, just in case. So always better to be safe than sorry. So I think everybody that's here has taken at least one of the sessions before, so we're going to continue to move on today. I want to talk a little bit about some of the systems that I'm finding, because as time goes by, I'm using more and more AI, and what I've found in some significant research is that most of the other AI systems that are being promoted out there are founded in either OpenAI's protocol, Gemini's protocol, or Claude protocol. Those are the three major players. So Claude, Gemini, which is the one from Google, and then OpenAI, which is the ChatGPT that you are also familiar with, okay? So those are the three. There are a lot of people right now that are on social media and email saying, hey, we can create your own custom AI system for you. You don't need them because they're all based off of what we're doing. So as we go through today, you're going to learn how to write a prompt today. And this is important because in January, we're going to be talking about search engine optimization and social optimization. So we're going to be talking about Google search optimization. We're going to be talking about AIO, which stands for artificial intelligence optimization. Do you guys remember the last time we were in here when I told you, go to your Google and search, why is Brian Pate the best realtor in Franklin County? And it popped up with all of the information that I had fed it. I'm going to teach you to do that in January. You're also going to learn how to tie your social media in a little bit more. We've talked about the Google business profile. Now we're going to cover the social aspect and getting Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Those are the 5 key social components that are going to be used. So we're going to do that in January. In order to get there, we must first understand how prompts are done, okay? And that's what today is. What you're looking at on the screen is actually a 3D image that I created with Google Gemini, okay? And the prompt was pretty straightforward. I'm gonna teach you how to do this before we're done today. Now, what I don't want to do is simply give you a prompt so that you're all using the exact same photograph with just your face on it instead, because that's what happens in this business. I gave out a prompt at a class that I taught about a month ago, and all of a sudden everybody's jumping off of their screens on Facebook saying, stepping into 2026. How many of you have seen somebody with that? I taught that in a class about 3 weeks ago, and I gave everybody the prompt. That didn't go the way I wanted it to. I want you to be able to create your prompt so that you can do it a little bit differently. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's what we're talking about today. So let's talk about the beginning, because this is where a lot of people are. They're in the toy phase of these prompts. They're playing with it. You've seen a lot of people that are using software like Sora in order to make cute videos. I'm sure some of you in here probably did the candy cane background with the glittery sequin jumpsuit and stuff like that. And you've probably seen that overwhelmingly. This is what happens when it's fun, and it's okay to have fun, but we're talking about using this for business purposes. We're talking about learning how to leverage this in order to make money. And that's the main piece. You can play with it all you want, but if it's not making you money, it's not worth spending the time on it. You follow me? So just so you understand the mindset and the concepts here. Again, playing with it is okay because you learn how to use it. Good morning, Rich. So the key here is you've got to learn to take the prompt and go a little bit deeper without going too long. Because if the prompt gets too long, you guys, all of a sudden it begins to confuse the AI agent, the AI system that we're talking about. So you've seen people that have posted on Reddit and places like that, and they post these massive 3-page long prompts. What happens is that actually confuses AI. So we're going to talk about how to use it today. We're going to talk about some comparisons so you understand not only what we're doing, but why we're doing it. So a lot of people start out, and we did this a couple months ago when we just said, upload something and tell it to summarize this report, okay? In the real estate business, okay, we will take a home inspection report and say, summarize this. Or we'll take something when it's telling us that there's something wrong with the HVAC system because the temperature differential. We can load that into AI and say, what is the likely cause of this? We can even take a photo of the tag on the HVAC system or a hot water heater, and we can say, tell me about this system. So we know that it's a 3-ton unit that was built in 2017, and it's 13 SEER and all of this information. We can get all of that data and be more detailed. You can do the same thing in your business, okay? We talked about training it in the very first class that we did, where you upload information about your business, you customize it, you systemize it so that it's always picking up the information that you've programmed into it. All of these are very basic prompts, okay? If you want to go in right now, we're going to go ahead and write a prompt here real quick. So everybody go into your OpenAI system, okay? Morning, Curtis.
Hey, Brian.
How are you? So you're going to go into your OpenAI system, and we're just going to do a basic prompt. So you're going to write a thank you note to me here real quick. So all you're going to do is write a thank you note to Brian Pate for teaching the AI class this morning. And just hit enter. It's a very simple one. Write a thank you note to Brian Pate for teaching the AI class this morning. And hit enter and let me know what you get. What'd you come up with? What did it say?
Thank you, Brian, for taking the time to teach the AI class this morning. You did a great job breaking down a complex topic into practical, real-world takeaways that we can actually use. I really appreciated your insights and the way that you encouraged conversation and questions. It was time well spent, and thank you for sharing your expertise.
Beautiful. Pretty good with a simple prompt, right? Now go back into it underneath that. Don't start over, just go underneath it. And I'm going to teach you a very important phrase here. This is called confirmation bias. Now you've probably heard of that in a negative connotation. But what you're doing is you're saying, that's good, but make it more business-like. And see what you get. So it's kind of like a child or a dog. You have to give it positive reinforcement when it does what you want it to do. And you have to also occasionally tell it not to do things. Make sense? So let's keep going with what did it give you in response to that?
Okay, it just gave me the definition, but I'm writing like Taylor the review.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Brian, for teaching the AI class this morning. One of my biggest takeaways was the discussion around confirmation bias and how easily it can shape the way we interpret AI outputs and data. I appreciated how you challenged us to slow down, question assumptions, and use AI more intentionally rather than just looking for answers that confirm what we already believe. The class was practical, thought-provoking, and incredibly timely. Thank you for sharing your knowledge.
Okay, pause for a second. Did you hear the class was thought-provoking? What was it?
Yes, the class was practical, thought-provoking, and incredibly timely.
Okay. Where did it get that information about my AI class from?
Social media.
It went searching the web and it found Brian Pate seminars, found my AI class, which states in the description of it that it is timely. It is thought-provoking. Am I making sense? Do you see how what you tell it to do and where you use it on your website creates the value? Are you seeing where I'm coming from here? How many of you have everybody old enough to remember the original movie Star Wars?
Yes.
I don't remember, I don't know what episode it was. It was the first one with Luke Skywalker. When Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke were going in there, and the stormtroopers approached them, and he goes, "These aren't the droids you're looking for." That's what the AI is going to do for your business. Because you're going to tell it what you want people to find. You're going to program it. You're going to train it. And when it goes searching, because if somebody goes to OpenAI and searches who's the best real estate agent in Youngsville, in Wake Forest, in Franklin County, guess who's popping up number one? You know why? Because I said so. I remember running an ad many years ago. It says, Brian Pate is the number one real estate agent in Wake Forest. This is like 1991. In a really small print underneath, we only polled Brian's mother. Okay? And it was fun. People like that kind of stuff. Did you know that AI can tell you a joke if you ask it to? Tell me a real estate joke. It would do that for you if you wanted to. Make sense? There's a lot of different things that we can do it. Now, once we get out of the training wheels phase, we then start to develop our prompting skills. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where your time is going to be spent for a while. Because if you can't write a prompt, you can't use AI properly. If you just copy what other people are doing, then you'll never have an original output. And what we're trying to do here is to use AI to be a differentiator between you and your competition. And if you're using the same prompts that everybody else that's in your circle is doing, then you're doing the exact same thing. It's the same concept that I get aggravated with real estate agents for. How many of you see real estate agents just sold another one? Isn't that obnoxious? Doesn't that annoy you? When's the last time you saw a surgeon take a selfie in the operating room, just did another one? Nobody does that. But that's how we've been taught. It's called evidence of success. And unfortunately, as a real estate agent, we have to brag on ourselves. And that's how we can use this to do that. All of these people that are saying, and Cole, I want you to capture this, please, okay? There's a lot of people saying we're going to lose a ton of jobs to AI. Yes, we are. But there's going to be a lot more created. Because for every job that we lose, there will be 2 prompt engineering jobs that come available, and they're going to be very well paid. So if you have kids that are in middle school, don't let the school tell you you shouldn't let your child use AI. They should be all over it. They should be all over it, because this is I remember people looking at me in 1996, and when I got my website, why are you wasting money on a website? This internet thing is just a passing fad. If I'd have listened to them, I would be broke. Because my website drove my business for the first 7 years that I was actually successful at it. This is the same thing, folks. This is a revolution for business. And you must learn to be a prompt engineer. You don't have to be the best one, by the way. You don't have to be the greatest one that ever existed. You got to be the best one for you. And so taking 15 minutes a day to learn how to engineer your prompts is going to create long-term value for you. Make sense? All right. So feeding the beast stage, this is where we start to have a little bit more fun. Has he got us? It's not a pretty face to look at. I'm really sorry. I have a face made for radio. So when we talked about the last time, and we were discussing, I think it was the first meeting that we talked about this. We're talking about the fact that you can upload Excel spreadsheets. You can upload PDF files. So you could actually take your invoice. Let's say that let's say that I'm in the HVAC business. Remind me of your name, I'm totally blank. Jason. So Jason takes 100 of his invoices from the last year. He uploads them all into ChatGPT and says, how can I make my invoices cleaner so that my customers understand them better? Has anybody ever gotten your cell phone bill and actually looked at it with all of the charges and all of the crap that's included in it?
I looked at it.
You looked at it and you glazed over. It's kind of like when you had iTunes and everybody would download the new version of iTunes. It says you need to read the new terms and conditions. You're just, I just want music. Yes, yes, yes. I just want to play my favorite song again. That's where this opportunity builds. Because now I can take any data set that you give me and I can have a professional analysis done without paying somebody thousands of dollars. So something as simple as an Excel spreadsheet with all of your transactions for the month, and you sit here and you tell it, give me an analysis of my business based on the attached spreadsheet. And it's going to sit there and say, well, your average transaction price is this. Your highest transaction price is this. This is your lowest. In order to grow your business, you're missing an opportunity to focus on this level of transaction. You can create an upsell from $30 to $60 and double your income by simply focusing on that. It acts as your business partner, but it depends on the data that you're going to feed it. So one of the things I've done, I've uploaded all of my student manuals for my continuing education classes that I teach for realtors. And I said, how can I shorten these manuals so instead of being 64 pages, I can get them under 48 pages, because at under 48 pages from 64, I get a $2 per printing savings. So we narrowed down the information, provided some stuff offline with QR codes and links in the PDF file. So when someone's on Zoom reading the booklet, there's a PDF, there's a link that's a hot link. They click the button, they now have access to everything that I had in the research. And we shortened the manual to 48 pages instead of 64, so that when I print it, instead of it costing $8 per manual, it costs $6. And we print about 2,000 manuals a year. So that's a $12,000 savings. Is that something enough to pay attention to? Absolutely it is. Do you see how we're doing this? You have to understand the why before you can start doing stuff. It also becomes a research assistant when you upload this information in. And this is one of my favorite things, because I've uploaded all of my business stuff. Remember when I told you, I've got mine set so that I don't share anything for OpenAI to train its systems with, because I'm dealing with confidential client information, and even with that, I still don't update anything with client information. I always redact it. I'll give the information about the transaction, but I never give names. Make sense? But by doing so, it looked at me and said, you made X number of calls last year, and you received, based on your data that you've given us, it takes you 61 calls in order to get a listing presentation. And after every 3 listing presentations, you get 2 of the listings. Make sense? I never tracked that number, it did. I just tracked how many phone calls it took to get a listing. And then it asked me later, how many listing presentations did you go on this year? Well, I went on this many. Well, how many did you get? I got this many. And so, well, maybe we could improve your business if you could update or upgrade your closing ratio from 67% to 77%. What's the difference in that? And it gave me the breakdown of the data, the income based on the average sale price, based on the average site. It covers all of that for you. Folks, it's smarter than you. It's smarter than most. Think about it. How many times have you heard the phrase, 2 heads are better than 1? Well, 2 programmers are better than a lot of heads. You just have to become comfortable using this. And again, there are a lot of people that are terrified of AI. I'm hearing more and more people, oh, AI is going to be the death of intelligence. No, it's not. It's going to be a different kind of intelligence. And you don't have to be a techie in order to use it. That's the great thing about it. It's finally something for the average guy. Remember when the iPhone came out and you suddenly became a professional photographer? When's the last time you actually carried a camera? Not you two in the back. But other than these two guys, I bet most of you don't own a 35 millimeter camera anymore. And if you do, it's probably in the closet gathering dust.
I don't even know where it is.
Don't even know where it is, exactly. I remember one of the things that my wife found a roll of film when we were in the process of moving this summer. Do you know how hard it is to find a place to develop film these days? We had to mail it off and wait a week. Everybody remember the days of the 1 hour photo mat? Eckerd Drugs, 1 hour photos, exactly. So the key here is, as a research assistant, when it has all of the data on your business, and it has your policies and procedures, and it has your vision statement and your mission statement, and all you have to do is say, I believe in this, 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 and this. Anybody seen Bull Durham? You remember Kevin Costner? I believe that the designated hitter rule should be outlawed. Anybody remember that monologue that he did? That's what you're telling it. I believe in this, I believe in this, I believe in this. An accountant could use this and say, I want to be conservative with the current tax code, and I'm especially concerned about this particular part, Section 179, because I've got a client that's got a 6,000 50-pound vehicle, but he put 3 loads of books in the back of it when it was weighed in order to justify it. Can we write this off for 179? If you don't know, the 179 deduction is the one that allows you to deduct a significant amount of a purchase for any vehicle over 6,000 pounds. You follow? It will do that work for you. It's your business partner. And you can talk to it if you have it on your mobile device. That's the other cool part. How many of you have team meetings? Anybody else like me? Team meetings are me and myself and maybe the dogs if they happen to be in the room. But if you're having a meeting and you just record your meeting, everybody's got these little voice memos on their phones, whether you've got a Samsung or or not a Samsung, what's the A word? Android, thank you. See, I can't even say it. The iPhone or the Android, record your meeting, upload it into OpenAI, and say, please create me a task list, an assignment list based on these meeting notes or on these meeting minutes. You can also tell it just to simply give you a transcript. And when you start doing it this way, all of a sudden, the people taking the minutes have a lot more control because nobody can say, I didn't say that. I got you on recording. See, one of the things I hated the most when I had a team of 15 people, I had 2 people that were not on the payroll that caused more trouble than anybody else. Their names were I don't know, and it wasn't me. It's the reason I only work with me now. Because when something goes wrong at this point in my business, I know who did it. And in the words of my grandfather, if I could kick the person in the butt responsible for all my problems, I wouldn't sit for weeks. Make sense? Then we have data rank. I love this graphic with the cowboy and the lasso wrangling the information. Data in messy files will screw up your AI. So one of the things it does, one of the major things that it has done for me, I've gotten much more organized with my spreadsheets. Gotten significantly more. I used to have, anybody use the bottom of the Excel with like multiple sheets at the bottom? I've stopped using that because I'm IDing specifics in each different spreadsheet. And so I label the spreadsheet name, I upload it, it knows what's in there, and it can read the points across the top with the headers of each category. By doing that and cleaning up my data, guess what I'm getting? Cleaner output. It's the reason I can tell you at any point after the end of the month when I run my numbers, I can tell you what my year-to-date average sale price is, the median sale price, the median and average list price, average and median days on the market, all of that information and break it down. I've got all of that data at my fingertips. And my coaching clients love it because I give them a blank spreadsheet and say, I need you to fill this out every Friday at 8 a.m. It'll take you 15 minutes. And when they send it back to me and I continuously send them updates, all of a sudden you get a vision into your business that you've never had before. Or at least not without sitting down with your glasses and your eyes watering at 10 o'clock in the morning because you've been going over data and numbers. Nobody likes going through data except for weird people. There are a few out there, but it's mostly weird people. But this is your data analyst, you guys. How much do you think how much do you think major corporations would pay for data analytics? Do you know how much Stanley Morgan pays for data analytics every year? It's in the hundreds of millions of dollars, and you can have the same type of analysis for your business. You just have to learn how to do it. So this is going to be your homework assignment. This is for you to this is how you practice with. So this writer downer. So let's get it written down here. Your project, and we get back here. Donna, what's our next date? February 13th?
10th, I think.
No, the 10th is a Saturday.
Let me look real quick.
12th?
It is the 13th.
Is it the 13th? Look at that. That's a PFA number. Pull from air.
13th of February?
Or excuse me, 13th of January. Sorry, listen to what I mean, Jamie.
January, yeah.
January 13th. January 13th. Okay? So this is your assignment to complete before January 13th. I want you to create a data table for your business. Okay? How many policies have you sold this year, Kim? What's the average value of those policies? What's the income that you can get? Take that data. Better yet, take the data on how many calls you make every day.
I just looked this up yesterday, and it's on my list of things.
Perfect. You need to know, Jason, how many calls do you have to make before you get a face-to-face meeting with somebody? How much is that call time worth? I have figured out that when I get on the phone between 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m., my time is worth somewhere between $275 and $325 per hour because I'm getting business that turns into compensation. Make sense? If you can identify that, that's a whole different world of motivation. But the system and the value is in the details and the repetitiveness of that system. If you only sit down once every 3 months to make an hour and a half of phone calls, it's not going to be worth $275 to $325 an hour. Make sense? Financial planning. How would it look if you created a data set with your top 10 clients and the referrals that they've given you? Because if your top 10% of your clients is not referring you, you're not doing it right. If your top 10% of referrals is not sending you a referral a quarter, you're doing it wrong. It's part of the reason most of our top 10% typically is between 6 and 7 people. And yes, I said 6, 7. Sorry, it just comes out now because of all the teenagers we hang out with. But think about that. Where's your value in your time? We spend a lot of time going to meetings, going to networking events, meeting other people. For me, the value in that is not meeting new people in order to grow my business. It's in order to learn. It's in order to hear what other people are dealing with, what other business owners are dealing with. Remember, we're talking to business owners, you guys. You're a small business owner. This is driving everything that you're doing. So the data wrangling, folks, imagine if you hired an intern and gave him a stack of company handbooks and the pages are incorrectly numbered. How are they going to ever find anything? What would happen if I got into one of your employee handbooks and I just changed the order of the pages and removed the page numbers? How much would you freak out over that? You with? The data sets have to be clean. The data sets have to be clean. Most of the time when this fails, it's because people are not taking the time to manually set everything up. Remember the first time we met when I said, you're going to spend more time working on your business than in your business for the next 6 months? This is what I mean. Because if you don't take the time to work on your business, it doesn't improve. You might get lucky and the market might turn you on and make you busier. But if your systems aren't scalable, you're costing yourself money. And that is a small business error that most of them make, and it's the reason that very few survive 5 years. Think about the number of small businesses that you've seen come and go in this area in the last 10 years. This is usually the reason why. They don't know how to get their information. Now, the content engineering stage is where you've now got that data, and now you're curating it. You're now curating that data. What do we mean by curating? We're massaging it. We're asking questions about it. We're letting the system program our brains. We're reversing it back. We're giving AI control so that we have the ability to learn from it now. You'll be amazed at what AI can teach you if you just ask it a question. Then we have the pruning. Pruning is kind of what we did earlier. Remember when we got the thank you note? And then we said, okay, now write it a little bit more professionally. That's pruning. Just think of a tree. Think of your crepe myrtle. By the way, don't commit crepe murder. You don't cut them off like most people do. You trim them back on the sides. You let the tops grow. Okay? You want to get rid of irrelevant stuff. You want to get rid of garbage data. Because if it's got all of that in there, it's going to be confusing. You want your 20% of information that makes you 80% of your money. And by the way, you can tell it that. As you analyze my business, focus on giving me tasks that are in the 20% that make me money, not at the 80% that keep me busy. Progress and productivity are more important than being busy and telling your friends how tired you are. I don't know when we got into this badge of honor, folks, that you have to be busy and completely exhausted in order for life to be fulfilling. That's not necessary. That's not necessary. If we're more efficient, we're making more money in less time with less hassle. That's part of our code here. Then we have biasing. This is where we're weighting or repeating key terms. What happens with this, the model's attention leans towards specific content when you use keywords over and over. So data analysis. Focus on the data analysis in this column first. What does the information in this column tell me? What is the information in the second column? What's the information in the third column? And you can have columns that are, you can have it 8, 9 wide, and that's fine. But remember when I told you earlier, don't just throw it a pile of information. Don't throw that intern a pile of information and ask them to come up with some good stuff out of it. Get it started specifically, and at the very end, all you have to do is this. Write her down. Are you ready? All you have to do is this. Now ask me 3 clarifying questions about this data that I may not already know. Ask me 3 clarifying questions about this data that I may not already know. And when you do that, folks, the system's going to ask you a question and go, Jason, you put in a 4-ton unit in this one, but only 3.5 tons in the other one. What's the difference and why? And then Jason's going to answer that, and then it'll say, well, do you realize the 4-ton unit is more profitable than the 3.5-ton unit? So even if it wasn't necessary to do 4-ton, it would have been more efficient for the client and it would have been more profitable. It can do that analysis for you, and then you decipher whether you want to be the guy that says, okay, I can give you a 3.5 or I can upgrade you to a 4.0 so your system's going to be more efficient. Either way, they win. Either way, you win. It's the old alternative close. When you use the data and you pay attention with the model, it builds better. So with the data curation, always reference it. Only use the documents I've provided. That's a key phrase in prompting. Only use the documents I provided, because otherwise it's going out to the internet, and that's always a dangerous thing. We never know what we're going to find on the net. We never know what we're going to find on the internet. When I'm doing research right now for a historic home that I'm getting ready to list in Wake Forest, and it was built in 1903, and it's got tons of data on the historic information, the National Register of Historic Places. I've uploaded all of that application for the National Register. Said pull out 3 or 4 bullet points that focus on why this is such a great home and part of the National Register of Historic Places. Then I took photos of the interior of the property and I curated the description on that. It described the property for me. I said, even get down, what kind of chandelier is this? And it goes out and finds it. Where did it find it? In the National Register documents, because you have to include stuff like that. You see where I didn't have to read the 130 pages in the document, which is a good thing, because me reading 130 pages would probably be somewhere around 8 or 9 hours, because I'm just a slow reader. Then you can layer in your organizational knowledge. This is where Curtis can say, this is my vision statement, this is my mission statement, these are my codes of conduct, these are my ethics. You can have that all programmed into your company, and you can reference it. Using the information that I've given you about my company previously with our policies and procedures, okay, that's the cue for the analysis. Then we get to the role piece. What is the role of the prompt that you're giving it? Mine is typically, you are an expert marketing specialist for search engine optimization or for artificial intelligence optimization. That's the first thing I always tell it. You're an attorney that is a specialist in trademark and copyright. I have a coaching client that wants to get their logo trademarked. What's the process? Boom, 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 and it's there in 30 seconds. Then at the end of that, find me an attorney in the Raleigh-Durham area that specializes in this type of information. Boom, boom, boom. I now have 3 choices. And it's in seconds, you guys. It's in seconds. And that's where curating the data comes from. Then you have to set your constraints. And this is where you have to get into the legal of your business. What are the requirements? What is your company policy, Jamie? And what is your federal policies? Because you guys have more policies to deal with than real estate agents. I'm blown away what financial advisors and insurance people have to deal with. Because I see my wife working in it every day, and that is not a pool I want to swim in. But what are all of those policies? Do you need to reference a specific one for the research that you're doing? Do we want to focus on flood insurance instead of liability? And where are the 100-year flood maps versus the 500-year flood maps? What's the most recent recording and information that we've got off of it? You're not engineering the actual prompt here, folks. You're engineering what the agent knows. By the way, the agent is your AI system, OpenAI's ChatGPT. Some people call them AI agents, some people call them AI systems. You're also controlling how it's interpreting the information and how it's to make decisions. Do you see the build here? This is the Legos that we're building. We've got the little stand at the bottom. We've built the base. We're getting ready to go have some fun in here for it. So let's go back through the prompt writing basics. This is just the simple, and by the way, if you want to take a picture of this slide at the end, you are more than welcome to, because there's a lot of information that's going to be on the next one. As I told you earlier, long prompts aren't necessarily great. Long prompts are going to confuse it, and you don't speak to your clients with prompts, you speak to them with data. Data, data, data. By the way, did I mention data, data, data? What's your favorite data in your business? Revenue. Thank you. Raise your hand if revenue is not your favorite data. See? How about, look, it's okay. It's okay to talk about money is good. Money is good. Now, I am not Gordon Gekko. I'm not going to sit here and tell you greed is good. But when did we start crucifying and vilifying people for having money? That's why you all started your business, isn't it? I don't think any of you in here are running a nonprofit, although it can feel like that at times as a small business owner. There are some months that operated a nonprofit, but there's nothing wrong with that. Data, data, data. So here's the anatomy of the prompt. Now I'm going to step out of the way so you can take a photo of this screen. So the role, as I told you earlier, this is the order that I do it in. Now other people will use different orders, and that's fine. I like to identify the role that I want my AI agent to play before I do anything. You are my business partner, and here's the task. We are strategizing for 2026. The context. Last year, I fell $150,000 short of doing $10 million in real estate sales. I want to do something this year that gets me to at least $10.5 million. What voice do you want it to use? Well, I have that programmed in. Everything that I have programmed in comes out on an 8th grade level in AP style, because I grew up in the newspaper business with my daddy. So everything that is output from mine, I have it pre-programmed in for that. Now, if I want it to do something different, I can say, write it in the style of the New Yorker magazine, and it'll give me a totally different output than 8th grade level AP style. You follow me? Then we have the output. What's it for? Is this for your blog? Is this for a white paper you're doing? Are you working on an ebook for what are the 5 biggest mistakes that people make when installing an HVAC system on a commercial property? Whatever it may be. It's a blog post, an Insta post. You're dictating what that is. So remember to add your details. This is where the prompt starts small and it grows a little bit. If you're asking AI to create a photo or a graphic, you have to tell it what aspect ratio that it needs to be in. Do you want a 1:1, which is a square image? Do you want a 16:9, which is horizontal? Or do you want 9:16, which is the way you look at your phone vertically? Are you with me? Are there any questions on what I've talked about so far? So what do you think we're going to do next? Let's go. Let's go. All right. Let me get my glasses so I can actually see my screen. All right. My onboard mouse is just not cooperating today. There we go. All right. So I'm going to hop on here. Get out of all of this other stuff. So I'm going to log in to my ChatGPT, and if you want to log in with me and do this along with me, that's what I'd like for you to do. Okay, I'm going to turn this back this way so I can see the screen at the same time. All right, so we're going to create a new chat. I don't want you to do that. All right, so Kim. Which, Hess? What's the name of the company?
Hess Insurance Solutions.
Based in Youngsville, Raleigh.
some good stuff.
Did you? All right.
Just popped up.
So let's see how this works. Licensed health and life insurance broker based in Raleigh, North Carolina, licensed to sell insurance in all 50 states, focuses on helping individuals, families, self-employed people, and small business owners find health and life coverage that fits their need and budget. Does any of this sound familiar?
Yep, I wrote it.
Because see where it's coming, see where the source is? Remember what I told you guys about using your blog for your sourcing? Okay,
That's from Yelp.
could be. Let's see. Nope, this is from HessInsuranceSolutions.com. So somewhere you've put that on the site.
Okay.
So then we go down here. Hess works primarily with private health insurance plans, has access to plans in the public marketplace, assists clients in comparing offers, including PPO plans, supplemental coverage, all that stuff that I don't understand. This is Alignable. So Alignable is a social media type app.
I don't even get on there, I should.
There you go. So what did you just learn? I need to go on to Alignable and make sure that my profile is accurate and that all of the links on there are correct. The agency offers health and life insurance for working adults, families, small businesses. It's based in Raleigh. This is also from Hess Insurance Solutions. According to local business updates, she started a brokerage to help others avoid high health care costs and give clients clear education about insurance choices. She markets her services to people who make too much to qualify for government subsidies but want more affordable private insurance options, and it came from Nextdoor.
I need to change that too.
Do you see where I'm coming from with this? Now I can come down here and click on my sources, and over on the right-hand side, there's Facebook, there's Kimberly Hess, there's Hess Insurance Agent, About Us, Get in Touch, okay? So what do we need here from a prompt standpoint to make this even better? What could Kim do in order to grow the data with her prompts? Watch this. Imagine if Kim says, what other websites other than, so you got Hess Insurance Solutions, you got your Facebook, you got a LinkedIn, okay, you have a YouTube channel,
Yeah, I just started one.
okay,
I have a podcast.
so you got a podcast,
Started, haven't really.
okay, so watch this. You may want to record this, by the way. I'm getting ready to give you about $10,000 worth of coaching in a couple minutes. Find your voice. And if you want to record this, you can cut it in for your business too. Okay? You got your voice memo going?
Sure do.
All right, here we go. So we're going to take Kim's information and we're going to program OpenAI, and we're going to say, using information from the following sources, and we're going to list HessInsuranceSolutions.com. We're going to go straight to Kim's Facebook page, the URL, not just for Facebook, but for facebook.com/Kim Hess. I think it's listed under Kimberly, right? So Kimberly Hess. Then we're going to go get her Instagram account. Then we're going to get her YouTube channel. And then we're going to do a Google search for every article that's ever been written about Kim. And we're going to load all of those in as source documents. So remember all those little articles that have ever been written about you? The local newspaper article that you frame and put on the wall? Or the profile article that you appeared in? You're going to provide OpenAI with the links to all of those. And then at the bottom, it says, using the information from the sources above, write a 500-word blog for Kim's website. Use keyword indicators with search engine optimization specifics, and boom. In about 30 seconds, it's going to write something that Kim cannot possibly fathom. And now what you've done is not only have you got great output for Kim's blog, which, by the way, anytime you reference Kim's blog, it needs to have an outbound link to somewhere other than HessInsuranceSolutions.com. She can now take a YouTube video and record herself discussing this and embed the YouTube video into the blog, which now gives her a reference to the second most popular site owned by Google, which is YouTube. What this is, folks, it's called stacking your technology. And in this case, it's stacking the socials. Because nobody is going to your website anymore to learn about you. They're going to Facebook forums and say, who can tell me about this guy? If they're not going there, the other place they're going is to artificial intelligence. Which is why, if you go to Google and type in, why is Brian Pate the best realtor in Franklin County? It's because I've already done all of this. Make sense? If you tell OpenAI what sources to use, it will use it. Because what happens if somebody purchases firekimhess.com and starts putting a whole bunch of negative out there? Is OpenAI and is the Google SEO going to find it? Yeah. But you can dominate the space and control the message using it. Are you following me? And when we get into this, by the way, next month with the social optimization and the SEO combined, you're going to learn a lot more about what the public hears about your business. Because I'm going to Google some of your companies. And we're going to do it without the AI summary indicated, and we're going to see exactly how much of page one do you control. Because notice that at no point have I said, you don't even need to do SEO anymore. No, I never said that. You still need to do SEO, but just as importantly, you need to spend on AIO, which is your artificial intelligence optimization as opposed to your search engine optimization. Make sense? All right. So give me a task. So Jamie, what is one of the most challenging tasks in your business in terms of running your business? What's the biggest frustration you have with your business?
The river in Egypt.
The river, the denial. Denial of what?
Denial that they don't think nothing's going to happen to them.
I don't need life insurance. I'm only 35. I'm bulletproof, et cetera, right?
Well, long-term care is the bigger one.
Long-term care, okay? It's not bad in 15 seconds or less. So watch this. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Not yet.
Not yet. So imagine. Hi everyone, I'm Jamie. Today we're talking about long-term care insurance, and I've created a playlist here for the top 5 reasons that people need long-term care insurance. The first one today is that long-term care can cost you thousands of dollars each month. Without the coverage, many people drain retirement accounts or sell assets to pay for care. Insurance helps shield savings you plan to use for living expenses or for a spouse. If you want more information, contact me at 919-555-1212 or hit me on the web at jamiesfinancialplanning.com. What do I now have? This is a blog entry on my website. I now have a YouTube video that coincides with it. So I have a choice. I can either hang that YouTube video right here underneath this, or I can put a link to it under long-term care can cost you thousands of dollars each month. I highlight this, I drop the link in, and boom, it takes you off of my page onto my YouTube channel into a video that coincides with what we just talked about. And then next week, hi everyone, I'm Jamie. Last week we talked about how long-term care insurance protects your savings. This week we're going to talk about how it covers care that Medicare does not. Blah, 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 blah. By the way, You can record all 5 of those in less than 20 minutes, upload them and schedule them to YouTube so that you don't have to go back in every week, and that creates your consistency. Make sense? Let me show you. So this is my YouTube channel. And I want to get you into the back here. I think I showed you guys that. That's actually all AI. Why is it not signing me in? Next. Hold on. Oh, it's going to make me do this. Hold on a second. Sorry. This is what happens when you do stuff on the fly. Yes, it's me. All right. So, did I show you guys this video last time? So this video is entirely AI. That's not me. That's an AI clone of me. That's not my voice. That's an AI clone of my voice. And no, we're not going to have time for me to teach you that. It's a 6-hour class. But I'm happy to let you learn. So if we go back into this, wrong button, sorry, hold on. So if we go back into this and we go manage videos, oh my God, shut up. See, even I get tired of listening to me. I want you to notice we have all of my shorts. Notice that I'm scheduled through January 25th with videos, and there's a couple each day. Folks, I hired a guy. He sat in front of me with his camera for about an hour and a half. I gave him a list of the questions that I wanted him to ask me, and I answered them without a teleprompter. And this video collection is what came out of it. Cole, when did we do that thing for your dad at the Elks Lodge? What was that, 2 months ago at this point? 2 months ago, I did my speech at the event, had the keynote guy do his speech, and afterwards we stayed there for an hour and a half recording 50 videos. It gave me 4 months of content for the YouTube channel. And all you have to do is answer the questions that people ask you every time you talk to them. Because I get the same questions over and over again when people see me. Brian, how's the real estate market? Do you ever get asked that?
I do.
Daily.
I probably have a different answer than you.
What's your answer?
I always say it doesn't matter.
No, the answer is, why do you ask?
I always say that, I think that you can find opportunities and ways to win no matter what the market is.
I don't
So
disagree
that's-
with that
that's a
statement.
crazy question.
But I want to know why they're asking.
Yeah, I like that.
Curtis, if I looked at you and asked a question, are you still doing the accounting, I assume? If I asked you a question about the Section 179 deduction, said, hey, Curtis, I just bought a brand new Escalade. How much I paid $80,000 for it. How much do you think I can write off on it? Is that a question that you could answer on video? And I know what you're thinking. Brian, you're a professional speaker. I don't sound that good on video. You will when you practice. Because whatever business you're in, I have news for you. Your very first transaction, you sucked. You just got better with practice. I remember my first real estate client, John and Karen Stevenson, God love them. 7308 Bramblewood Drive in Raleigh off of Lynn Road. I still remember it. I remember showing them the house. I said, now I need to warn you guys, this house has bright orange carpet, so unless you're a Tennessee or Clemson fan, you're probably not going to like it. And they chuckled, and I looked at her and I said, what are you laughing at? She says, well, he graduated from Tennessee and I graduated from Clemson. I'm like, oh! There are certain times you know the good Lord's looking out for you. You know what I mean? But I was terrible. I called my mentor. This guy named David Huffine, best mentor I could have had. He beat me up when I needed to be beaten up. He encouraged me when I needed to be encouraged. He calmed me down when I needed to be calmed. He got me amped up when I needed to be. I said, I need help. I'm ready to write an offer. And he said, you're kidding, because it was literally the first day I was in the office. We call that blind luck. That was the good Lord telling me, in my opinion, that was the good Lord telling me, I want you to be in this business. That moment changed my life. 30 days later, September 30th, 1993, I closed on my first sale. Took 6 months to get the next one. Welcome to owning a small business. So you have to find your opportunities. So tell me something that you want to work on. Anybody. Tell me something you want to, what can we do for your business today? I'll do it right here live for you. Nobody has anything that you could use help with. What's your biggest time suck?
Posting social media.
Social media, okay. Here, let's go back to... Paying too much for health insurance, you're not alone. If you're self-employed, run a small business, or earn too much for ACA subsidies, there's still strong private options. The right plan can protect you and your family and cut monthly costs at the same time. Kim with the Hess Insurance Solutions helps people in Raleigh across the country compare real health and life insurance choices, no pressure. Ideal for self-employed professionals, small business owners, families stuck with high premiums. Send a DM or click the link below, link in the bio to schedule free coverage review today. Let's find a plan that actually fits your life. Couple ways to do this now. Option number one that most people would do is they would literally copy and paste this and probably post a photo of two people shaking hands or something like that. Would you agree? The traditional boring insurance ads. Or we could actually get a photo of Kim. We could take Kim over to this corner against one of these white backdrops, have one of you guys stand in front of it, shake hands with her, take the photo, post it, use this link, and then tag that person in it. And now not only do Kim's clients see it, but the other person's clients in sphere of influence also see it. That's possibility number two. Possibility number three, Kim whips out her phone. Hi everybody, are you paying too much for health insurance? It's a frustrating time of the year, isn't it? Well, you're not alone. If you're self-employed, run a small business, or you seeing that this is a video? Because this is about a 45 to 50 second script tops. So we can make a video that's an Instagram reel. We can make a video that's a TikTok video. We can make a video that's a YouTube short. By the way, we can use the same freaking video for all three of those. Could we also schedule it later to appear on her Facebook business page? At that point, once it posts, let it sit and marinate for a couple of days, then share it to her personal page. And now you've just ended up with your following on social medias. You've probably ended up with around 10,000 people seeing that ad in one shape or another. Are you seeing how this is work? Folks, this is marketing 101. This is reach and frequency. How many people do we reach with a single ad? That's reach. Do they see it often enough that they get annoyed by it? That's frequency. You want proof? How many of you say, guess what day it is, and don't think of the frickin' camel from that Geico commercial from years ago? Why do we know that the Golden Arches are McDonald's? Why do we know that the king of beers is Budweiser? And why in the world do McDonald's and Budweiser need to spend $42 to $45 million on a Super Bowl ad this year if we already know who they are? It's called top of mind awareness, you guys, and your prompts can help you write all of this stuff. I'm feeling like y'all aren't seeing this. And I mean, we're talking about quadrupling your revenue here. That favorite data point of Donna's. Are you sitting there quietly because your brains are in gear and you're trying to figure out what can I use this for next? I hope so, because that's exactly why I'm here, is to help you trigger that exact thought. There are so many opportunities with this, folks. Good Lord, experience. So did y'all see that prompt? You're a coach for insurance agents with over 20 years of experience. Define the role. What are the 3 best pieces of advice you would give Kim? That's the question. To focus on her 20%. That's the why. And then the counter to it, rather than the 80% that keeps her busy. Protect selling time at all costs, narrow the ideal client, and say no faster. Oh, the art of saying no. Have y'all ever been in a situation, where somebody asked you to participate in something? Hey, would you mind making an appearance at this event? And in your head you were like, no. But you know what you said? Okay. You learn how valuable you are to people when you begin to say no to things. Because no is a complete sentence. For my coaching clients, when they ask me, how can I save time? The first session is talking about how to say no. Well, I can't say no to it. They'll think I'm rude. If they think you're rude because you say no to something that's a time waster, then those are not people you need in your circle. Because you will find out how much value you have with people the first time you say no to them. Has anybody ever seen a kid whose parents never said no to them? And then all of a sudden, you say no to them, what happens? Tantrums. See, all of you are thinking about somebody and their kids right now. Hopefully it's not the same people you're thinking about. But that's what we're talking about here, folks. When you say no to somebody and they lay a guilt trip on you, it's time to go find somebody else. The circle only has so much room. Remember, we were talking about the top 10% of your business. My guess is that most of you, that's 10 people that probably send you 5 to 6 referrals a year to give you those opportunities. That's what you have to leverage. But if you say yes to too much, you have to remember something. Every time you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to something else. If somebody invites me to an event at 6 p.m. on a weeknight, I can say yes to it and go make that appearance. But it also means I'm saying no to my downtime and my relaxed time at home. And more importantly, I'm saying no to time with my wife one-on-one. And I can promise you, as somebody who's still struggling to repair relationships made with kids during the divorce process, You need that time with your family because you don't get it back. And if you don't believe me, look at what's happened the last couple of weeks in the state of North Carolina with the Biffle family. And then NASCAR's really been hit because Denny Hamlin's dad perished in a fire at their home over the weekend too. I mean, what happens if that happens to one of your family members tomorrow? It's part of the reason that one of my beliefs, you guys, whatever business you're in should not be your life. It should be the way to a better life. My goal is to help you operate it more efficiently. My goal is to help you build your business, be able to scale it with systems that are in place, and to grow your revenue beyond your wildest dreams. I can give you the ways to do that, but you have to actually do it. Which means that you got to go home from today and play with this. Have fun with it, because it's fun. It's fun, because if I were to come over here, let's really have some fun. Just to give you an idea of what you can do with this. What's your, do you have a slogan? Or do you have
Health as well.
health is wealth? Let's see what we get here. We're going to go down here. Instead of clicking this, we're going to create image. Let's see what we get. I could turn Kim into Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Batgirl, anything you want.
I made one on Gemini.
Did you?
I think she's done that on all her videos already.
She's done a lot. She's done a lot of this. So a couple of the other things that I'm going to share with you next time we meet. One of the things is that here it comes.
It's fun.
Now, if I had a picture of Kim, I would click right here and click Add Photo, and I would say, now replace the facial features of the character with the identical facial features of this photo. And it would actually have Kim's face popping out of there. But I will tell you, there are some times that I don't want that to be me. Because if it's always you, then you look like an attention hound. If it's always you, then you're an attention hound. All right, let's have a little more fun. And this is where it takes a little bit more time. This is where your Jeopardy music's playing in the background.
I was one of those people that played with the candy canes in
Uh-huh.
the background. Yeah, I
Well, and see, so watch this. Did you hear what she just said? She says, I was one of the people that played with the candy canes and the sequins and all that. Watch this. How long did you spend playing with that?
because I changed it into different pictures.
What would your business look like if you took that much time and focused on your business in AI versus playing it? I'm not saying don't ever play.
I learned.
As we said earlier, tinkering with it allows you to learn the systems and how to make the adjustments. You can learn prompting far better by sitting there and playing with stuff like that. but you have to figure out a way to turn it into creativity that builds your business. Oh, this is going to be good. There we go. That's awesome.
The logo on the car.
Notice it says Hess Insurance Solutions on it. Right there.
You put your brand colors in it.
Sure you can.
all that stuff.
Sure you can. All of you can go out and create a photo like this or an image like this that's a NASCAR car with your company's logo on the back of it, and then you go in and you tell it, make it look like a real photograph. And all of a sudden you're saying, hey, we're sponsoring a car at South Boston next month, go check it out. People are going to buy, you're making enough money to sponsor a race car? Is that evidence of success? Make sense? This is, again, we can have fun, but also do it for business purposes at the same time.